walk up on stage. I'm not the host.
Yeah, but she's asking if you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. I don't know cues.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Hi. I'm happy to be here.
All right, so we're going to interview you tonight. Just got a few questions for you.
Okay, that's wonderful. Being the only humanitarian who wants the United States to go communist is actually a fairly big burden to put on myself, but I'm ready to answer all questions.
All right, so our first question tonight is, if you could send a message to the entire world in 30 seconds, what would you have to say?
Well, you see, 30 seconds is not a lot of time to convey a message of what I plan to do, because being a humanitarian who wants the United States to go communist is very draining, especially because you're competing against several thousands of millions of people who are saying the United States can't be communist, it's capitalist. So the message I would convey is that you're wrong, all of you. Every single one of you are wrong. Next question, please.
All right, what is your biggest pet peeve?
Well, my biggest pet peeve is thinking that capitalism is right, because you see, it's wrong. Capitalism is the absolute worst thing that ever happened to America since the Revolutionary War. So, you see, there's an influx of new money that comes into the system every year, and when you multiply that by how much floats around with communism, it's not as little as compared to capitalism. When it flows more, the money devalues itself, and then all of a sudden you've just lost thousands of millions of dollars, and where did it go? No one knows, it's just devalued itself. So if the United States were to go communism, it would fix that problem.
Would it really?
It would. That is my biggest pet peeve, is capitalism.
All right, so what would your dream job be?
My dream job would probably be Secretary of Treasury for the United States, so that I could convince the world to stop being capitalist. Because you see, capitalism is just destroying the country. Communism is what we need.
Well, why not the president? Because, I mean, if you were the president, you could declare martial law, overthrow the government, and then become a communist dictatorship.
Okay, mate, see, you don't understand. Dictatorships doesn't get anything done. Communism does. It's a work of the people. Everyone here is a part of communism. But what you're proposing is a dictatorship. That's one person. That is not what I want. That's not what I want for this country. I want everyone to be equal and free.
So you want communism with democratic ideas spread about?
Maybe anarchy. I think that would work out better. There's no government, but we could all be equal.
Okay. If you could spend the day with any celebrity, who would it be?
I think that would be Barack Obama. I think I would love to see his views on capitalism. Yeah, I have a few choice words to say to him, but I do think I would have a very charming conversation with him about the United States democratic system. Because you see, communism is really how it all works out. Under communism, we're all equal. We can all be one. But under his system, it's not working out the way it's supposed to. Everyone's equal, but no one's really equal.
Well, wouldn't it make more sense to have a discussion with President-elect Donald Trump? Because he is
he understands the system. I don't know if you've noticed. He's actually
but
beginning the trend to communism already.
So you feel you wouldn't need to talk to him since he already understands?
Yes, I've had several conversations with Mr. Donald J. Trump, the president-elect already, and he said that he plans to move to a communist system after 2066. And I know that's a long shot, but when you put it in play, 2066 is only a number of years away. It's like 4 or 5 years away. And then after all that time, his term would be over, but then his legacy would continue, and then communism would spread.
What was your best memory of 2016?
There were a lot of good memories in 2016. For instance, like when the United States elected Donald J. Trump, because you see, he's going to enact that system that's going to be taking place in 2066. So I'm very excited to see that for myself.
You do realize that is more than 50 years away, and a president can only have 8 years?
No, that's like 4 or 5 years away. I know how to count, mate. I went to school. Thanks. Next question.
All right.
Well, are we done? You have no more questions for me? Come on, mate. Time's money, and money belongs to the people.
I'm just reading off the teleprompter.
That's not. You're not supposed to say that.
So, what got you in? What made you want to be a humanitarian?
Well, you see, humanitarians have all the fun. You get to go out with women, you get to drink, you get to do whatever you want at these functions because humanitarians are treated as gods. People are like, hey, you're a humanitarian? I'm like, hey, I'm a humanitarian. All of a sudden, they're like, oh, bless you, good soul. Thank you so much for doing what you do. When in reality, I'm only really, benefiting the United States. So I think I should be praised a little bit. Maybe I should just be a god, perhaps.
Or I wouldn't get too full of yourself there.
Well, perhaps. Who really knows?
Do you think religion can affect the way communists would function?
Well, yes and no. You see, communism fell in the late 1700s because of Greek mythology. You see, Greek mythology predicted that Poseidon would rise up from the ocean and crush Russia under its boot. But when that didn't happen, people went years planning for this. They spent millions of dollars on secret bunkers underneath the Russian border, and they planned to escape once Poseidon had crushed the country.
Right.
But when this never happened, they had wasted millions of dollars, and that's why the Russian went into a succession.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, what type of music do you listen to?
You serious? I just talked about Greek mythology and asked me what kind of music I listen to. All right, well, I listen to country. I bet you don't like that either.
Why not more Russian-based music?
You mean like Russian rap? That's trash. I hate it.
No, more like more of some
Like the 1600s, like the
Victorian era type Russian.
Well, I do listen to that occasionally. I have 2 or 3 songs on my phone, but
So you're quite the connoisseur of country music.
absolutely yes. Well,
Right.
you see, it's country music, but it's not just country as in the United States country. It's every country's music.
Oh, okay.
So you see.
So, this is a very interesting question we have here. Do you believe in ghosts, and why or why not?
Okay, I'm gonna give such a strange answer, but you gotta hear me through it. I believe that the ghost of Joseph Stalin lives inside me. But the issue is, he's not as forgiving as I am. I have to personally struggle every day with being as ruthless as this ghost is inside of me. He tortures me every single day, mate. Every night, I fall asleep in tears. But that's okay. I would give it all to Joseph Stalin because he is the ghost inside me. The only issue being he is much less forgiving than I am. He's told me before, you need to be less forgiving. You need to easily be able to snap a man's neck because he done you wrong. And I struggle with this. I'm too forgiving. I feel that once I forgive someone, I feel the sense of relief. And then I get even worse torment from this ghost of Joseph Stalin. Please help me. Like, if you know anyone who could fix this problem.
Most likely a therapist.
No, it's like a real ghost. It's it's eating, I'm dying.
An exorcist?
Do you know any?
Quite a few, yes.
A few, of course you do.
Yes, I would say that's quite the problem because you do realize Joseph Stalin killed 60 million of his own people.
Yes, and he demands that I do the same. He goes, you must live up to my legacy. So I figure enacting communism will help me kill thousands of millions of Americans. But I also have to figure what could that do for the United States. So I figure once thousands of millions of Americans are dead, we can rebuild the country from the ground up.
Well, you have very interesting ideas, and I believe that is all the time we have for tonight.
That's all the time. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time on the show. It was terrific. I would love to spar back and forth with you, or political views, if you may.
I would not. Bye.
Bye-bye. Yes. I'm just make sure I've got my key.